17 minutes after 8, Dr. Clement Abasapak is presidential staffer and head of the Citizens Complaints Unit at the presidency. He's one of our guests on AM Talk this morning. Also is Abu Ramadan, who is the former youth organizer of the People's National Convention. And I'm sure you do know him. He's been very, very popular over the past few weeks because of that very issue in courts. Gentlemen, good morning and many thanks for your time. Let's start off with this issue of ECG. Obviously, it's been trending over the past few months or so, and the ECG workers, as we all know now, they are on a sit-down strike today as well. Now, for the many consumers on the outside who, through no fault of theirs, are having to bear the brunt of this very issue, there were a few comments on social media that suggested that people who had run out of credit, they don't have access to them. From Friday up until now, they've had to sleep in darkness, not because they do not have money to pay, but because ECG workers are on strike. Abu, maybe your take on this, and then we could hear from the man who works closely with the president as well.
That should have been the order. That should have been the order. I believe. No, because this is a policy direction coming from the president. So it is instructive.
That's fine, but we can still hear from you first.
Okay, no problem. Since I'll still get the opportunity to come back and speak on it. But first and foremost, a big good morning to your viewers. It's a problem. If you remember, about a week and a half ago, a coalition against the sale of the ECG, made up of persons who think the ECG should not be sold, which I'm part of. We held a press conference to raise issues with regard that had to do with conflict of interest in terms of this particular arrangement, and for that matter, we thinking that government should not proceed with such a program.
Conflict of interest?
Yes, with regards to MEDA and all affiliated groups that are supposed to be working hand in hand in getting the company that will come and take over for 25 years to come and run ECG for 25 years. We put certain documentations out. And on the 13th of this month, at the Lisa Hotel, there will be another public forum, which your station will be picking live feed from. And we're going to open up, we're giving opportunity to stakeholders to come and speak. But you see, the thrust of the issue is, if we are so desperate to hand over a cash cow, such as the ECG, or the hen that lays the golden egg, to individuals, we are saying the route government intends to take is not the proper route. At worst, if that is the dream of President Mahama to hand over ECG, management of ECG out, we think it should be done through the Ghanaian people.
But per this concessionary arrangement, there's nothing barring any Ghanaian from coming up with the needed funds and expertise to take over the affairs. So why do you make it seem...
It is almost impossible.
Almost impossible?
When you are even finding it difficult to even raise capital.
I saw the bid process. Quite a number of Ghanaian companies were in there.
Yeah, so
a number of them.
So I'm saying it will end up going to a foreign company.
How can you tell? How can you be so sure?
Based on, and I wish you would be at the forum to see the documents. And I've told my senior brother that I'm ready to give him ahead of time copies of those documents that we have, intercepted documents that we have.
You have intercepted documents.
And I'm ready to give him copies of it.
To suggest that MEDA will go ahead and give this.
To suggest that all that is being done.
This is a sham.
It's a sham, and it is being crafted to satisfy one or two institutions that are not operational in Ghana. So
from start, MEDA already knew which company was going to win.
I don't want to. Let me not lay the egg before.
Oh, you just did.
Hatch the egg before laying it. But you see, what I'm saying is, the problem, the entire arrangement is shrouded in acts that one more or less we call it conflict of interest, lack of transparency through the process. Because even at a certain point, a document that was authored by one of the partners that are working, I wouldn't mention them. Two major institutions which by law are given the right to take certain actions. One partner takes the action on their behalf. They wrote letters to deny that particular documentation. And I'm saying, I don't want to.
And all these are documents you've intercepted?
All these are documents, and I'll give you copies to study. Okay. I'll give you copies. But what I'm saying is, what prevents government from saying we are going to float shares of ECG on the Ghana Stock Exchange for the Ghanaian people to buy shares and own it?
You think government has not considered all these options, these viable options?
The president didn't dream about that. They couldn't have. Because if he did, that should have been the first avenue. The way government will rush and say we are going to the euro market to go and raise bonds of maybe $1 billion. Because it suits government at that time. Government, the economy is right, such that when you go onto the euro market, you raise. The possibility that you raise, it's easier to go and take loans or acquire bonds on the euro market. So I will go. So I'm saying, if government really thought about it, that should have been the best. Because today, there are institutions in this country that are not working properly, that board or managers of those institutions have decided to float shares, giving opportunity to workers to buy shares and own part of the institution.
Some say GCB is a clear example.
Yeah, precisely. So we have a system that has been tried before, tried and tested before.
But now then again, the dynamics may be different. So
it can't be different. In this instance, it can't be different. Okay. Look, if today ECG government is saying we are showing workers that you won't be dismissed or you won't be sacked
for the next 5 years.
For the next 5 years. Excuse me. I didn't apply to work at ECG or be hired by ECG just to work for 5 years or 6 years of my life. I hope to retire as a former staff of ECG. But by virtue of your personal arrangement as government, you decide to bring in another partner and you say, don't worry, because I'm hitting an election, I can't allow any retrenchment to be done now. So I have blocked all forms of retrenchment. So you don't worry. After 5 years, if the company so desires, at that point, the institution that has taken over, at that point, doesn't need to consult anybody. Should President Mahama even remain as president of Ghana beyond now, and it is the 5th year, they wouldn't come back to the president and ask him, is it okay with you when we sack the workers now? Because they can decide to lay off the entire staff of ECG and recruit new persons or bring new persons from outside.
Dr. Park, so if all these are pertinent questions that government ought to be looking at, you obviously need to be looking at answers to. Why the haste, some would say?
Very well. I think let me also say good morning to your viewers and to
your constituents as well.
To add that my constituents who are watching, yeah, it won't be long.
He would have done himself
I'll be coming for us to fraternize, share ideas, and then to continue the dialogue that we have begun. Of course, Wilson South, quite clearly, you know, it's a very vigorous terrain in this year's upcoming election.
It's not going to be easy.
Be as it may, I think that it is very important that we situate this conversation properly. We all understand the role that efficient, effective, and indeed regular and available power supply has to play in the social and economic evolution of every nation. We also understand that whilst ECG has served us generally, there has also been some shortcomings. I mean, we know the challenges, and as far as power supply in this country is concerned, we can speak about even equipment. We can speak about obsolete pylons and transmission lines. We can speak about plain old stealing of power.
Some say companies everywhere, companies the world over have these challenges.
There are challenges. So how do we address those challenges?
Okay.
Over the years, some work has been done, but it is very clear too that the time has come for us to take a much more bolder step in starting a process that would enhance the efficiency in as far as our power supply needs are concerned. And so we look at what options are available, and then you try to do the best in terms of ensuring efficiency, availability, and also injecting a good sense of corporate governance into a system as important as your power sector. I think that the problem now, as my brother Abu has said, is the tendency for some to be suspicious. And, well, I mean, we live in a free country. Everybody has the right to profess your opinions, your views. Not because you have any malice, but perhaps because you feel that, as he said, if it was done this way or that way or this way, the benefit would be a lot more colossal. And as far as the population
is government saying this was the best possible alternative?
You are not discussing the topic that you have.
Oh, we are. We are discussing
all of this that we are talking about boils down to the fact that there is currently an ongoing strike action. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Because whilst MIDA has assured that this concession that we are all looking at, to which you indicated, was also being considered by even a number of local, or if you like, Ghanaian companies, is where we are moving. The workers feel that this is going to bring about layoffs. Now, from where I sit, I don't have any evidence to support the claim that were we to go for the concession, which for all intents and purposes, that is what the indications are, that is going to bring about any layoffs. And I don't think that it is fair. While we all have the right to protest and to express our dissatisfaction about one action or another, it is not fair for us to punish other citizens as a basis of making our point. And that is why I feel that this action that is causing people to sleep in darkness because of the fear being expressed by ECG, in spite of the assurance that there are not going to be layoffs.
For the next 5 years. That's the assurance. That for the next 5 years, we can guarantee your jobs. After that, nobody knows what will happen.
I don't know the name you use on set, but that is the name I know. If you have another one, let me know.
That's fine.
The point is that in the history of every organization, changes do occur. I mean, we all know what happened to other, what we could consider to have been state-owned enterprises or institutions. They have gone through different structural changes, sometimes even minor changes in ownership and direction. And they have done well. They have done well. They have served us well. So we shouldn't be afraid of change in as far as that change is going to inure.
So if that's the price to pay, if a few people need to move, if that's the price to pay to ECG, have a more efficient ECG.
I'm not talking about a price to pay. I mean, we live in a country of laws. And I don't think that somebody is just going to wake up and massively or just engage in a program that is going to bring about the mass layoff of citizens from an organization. There are rules and procedures that govern the way that these things are done. So, we shouldn't be paranoid about this. I think this
You think the ECG workers are being paranoid?
It can be handled in a way that would inure to our collective benefit. We have every reason to believe that what MIDA has said.
Dr. Park, I ask again, you think the ECG workers are being paranoid?
I said we. I didn't say ECG.
No, I just...
I said people.
He wants you to put it in context, proper context.
We shouldn't be paranoid about
They are the ones embarking on this action.
No, but
and you're saying it's because of the fear they have that they might be laid off.
No, what they have stated that they are going to be laid off, and MIDA has indicated that they are not going to lose any jobs. In fact, rather, this arrangement would create more jobs in the power sector. And I think that we should all be looking forward to a time when we can employ more people. After all, one of the challenges that we all believe we face as a nation, although not limited to only Ghana, is the lack of employment opportunities for all able persons who want to work.
Abu, you wanted a reaction on that?
But is Mr. Park,
Dr. Park,
Dr. Clement Park.
It doesn't matter. You can call me Mr.
No, you know, between me and him, are you assuring the Ghanaian people that there will not be layoffs?
I am not MIDA.
Oh, okay.
I am stating what MIDA
So
has.
Sitting here, you can't even assure the workers.
As far as I know, MIDA has indicated that they are not going to lay people.
I'm saying, as a staffer,
a presidential staffer,
for that matter, as somebody who I would say is in the throat of
the president.
So
then
whatever,
I be here.
no, whatever, no, why?
Carried me to the central region.
No, but don't worry. No, but you don't.
Well, I know it's a figure
it's because you are going up there, so you know. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you can't even assure the workers, then I want to believe that there should be no other person qualified enough to assure the workers.
Dr. Park, you are head of the Citizens Complaints Unit.
Yes.
Have you not heard any or received any complaints over this issue?
Well, I'm here to receive any complaints about this, but I've received complaints generally about matters to do with
Overbilling,
erratic power supply, overbilling, and just the general discontent, if you like, frustrations that citizens have faced as a result of irregular and erratic power supply.
Have you gotten in touch with MEDA to find out really what the processes are, whether or not there'll be job losses after 5 years?
Well, if you had told me that this was what we're going to discuss, I probably would have gotten in touch with them.
I don't get.
Interesting.
But
Anyway.
are you saying
Okay.
that when this concession happens, the theft going on at ECG in terms of power, the problems ECGs will all come to an
But
end?
you know the level of efficiency
No, but I'm saying
that comes about.
we should rather look at the Ghanaian approach rather than looking at the Western approach, because this arrangement is as a result of the mismanagement of the economy that forced us to go into the what's it called, the IMF, the shackles of IMF once again, and based on the conditionalities given to the Ghanaian people. Ghanaian government.
I have no evidence to that.
Anyway.
No, but that is mismanagement. Yeah.
Some say this
economy is where it is.
Why?
You know fully well
Why?
that most of our basic commodities that have tended to serve as our source of foreign exchange have not done well in the last few years. I mean, even the so-called advanced nations of this world are also reeling under economic challenges.
Really?
And in spite of all of that, I mean,
Really?
the development that is going on across the length and breadth of
is
this.
evident.
So the doomsday.
You can see.
Some say that this is the more reason why the electorate should not retain the NDC in power.
The
And there's a story here which
I
says
agree.
kick out disastrous Mahama. It's coming from
I agree.
Nana Dodankwa,
But what would
the
you
flag
expect
bearer
him
of
to
the
do?
largest
What-
opposition
No, I
party,
agree. What would you
seeking
expect
to
him to
suggest
say?
that. Well, I mean, it's one of the main
I'm asking you a
concerns.
question. What would you expect him to say?
Well, it's a political season,
Of
so
course.
you could hear a lot of people
Yeah,
express
but
a
you
lot
see,
of views.
But what he's saying, is
People
it true?
speak about incompetence.
Mm.
It makes you wonder whether we truly take the definition of that word.
They probably do not know
into-
the definition.
into
They just throw
account.
it out there.
You know, as an academic, I take the definitions of words very seriously.
Like incompetence.
You know, but when you
Disastrous.
say
This word is disastrous.
somebody is incompetent, then it means that they are incapable of getting something done.
And that's the truth.
And we are getting the job done.
Really?
I mean, we are building schools, we are building roads.
The president is commissioning about 5
The
schools
economy
today.
has stabilized, and even the Economic Intelligence Unit report indicates that barely 8 to 9 months after the coming election, the economy is going to be buoyant.
Really?
We have put the
Today they are relying on the
We have
economic
put the
intelligence
foundation
unit. Today
there.
you see it as something
We have
worthy.
recalibrated the economy. We have to take ownership of our destiny. We must add value to what we produce. This is how we are going to transform the economy as we are doing in a way that would protect us from the shocks that usually would come as a result of our over-reliance on external sources. So instead of selling our raw cocoa, we should add value to it. Instead of selling our raw gold, let's add value to it.
What have you done?
Instead
about
of
that?
importing chickens,
What have you-
let's
what have you
resource
done
that.
about
Some say
the pottery industry.
fantastic idea.
That
For
is the point.
for instance,
So you cannot describe this as
the Commander
incompetence.
Sugar Factory, but you keep
No,
you keep saying things,
the
but when
point
you go
I'm
onto the ground
making
to
is
see
that
reality,
you cannot describe this that I've just narrated as incompetent.
Commander Sugar Factory, what's its state now?
As far as I know, it is functioning.
You know,
Is
it's
it?
shut down. It's waiting.
Commander is not
it will
functioning.
reopen in October.
Information we have suggests
Have you
the Commander
forgotten?
Sugar
It is
Factory is not
functioning in the
functioning.
sense that it is going through a routine maintenance. It is not as though it has been abandoned. It is not as though it's not functioning. So you mean to tell them that if you go there, you will not find people there undertaking
You can find people sweeping. You can find people sweeping it. So, but the factory itself is not running.
Point is, you
about production.
You want to transform the Ghanaian economy, and one of the key ways
is only the Commander Sugar Factory that we have revived.
Kumasi Shoe Factory.
That's one
Kumasi Shoe Factory. Today, Chetainas, I'm talking to you. There are only 11 workers at Kumasi Shoe Factory.
That cannot be true.
I'm telling no, Abuji.
This cannot be the case.
Clement Appak, I'm saying, send your reporters in Ashanti region to Kumasi Shoe Factory as I speak to you now. And let them give you the state of the... I sent somebody there personally last week. And after the show...
And there were 11 workers.
11 workers.
This cannot be
the revamped shoe factory.
The so-called revamped shoe factory. 11 workers.
This is the
you think they're just doing propaganda with some of these things?
No, it's not propaganda.
This claim,
no, it's not propaganda.
Dr. Park, is it that...
I don't think it can be justified. I don't think.
But Abu, one would say, I mean, for your party, the PNC, yourselves, you don't seem to be ready for this election.
Why do you say that?
Clearly, 3 months to elections, 92 days, I believe.
Yes.
92 days to elections. Yes. And even within your quarters, people are raising issues with your flag bearer that he does not even campaign. No one even sees him out. He's almost always in the hospital.
You see, I'll call those sentiments sour grapes. Why? Because those are supporters of Hassan Yarga who have refused to leave the party and join him. You understand? In his new quest for wealth. You understand? And they are
his new quest for wealth.
Yes, he did it very well. His Excellency helped him to realize that it was more lucrative to be a flag bearer than to even run a company.
So what? The president is funding him?
Oh, very well, very well.
The president is funding the APC.
That one Clement Appak is away.
Abu.
Oh, he won't deny.
But do you have any evidence?
No, I'm saying he won't deny this. He won't deny this.
No, but you're the one making the claim.
Would you also say that the NPP is funding the current PNC flag bearer?
I don't understand. How do you make such as
you are making the claim?
No, but
Abu, do you have?
He's not only funding Hassan Yarga, you know, all those small because we are in a season where ghost parties.
This is not a fair accusation. No, you must be prepared to substantiate these allegations that
I understand. So I need him to substantiate these claims he's making.
I'm saying, you didn't hear Odike.
Say what?
You didn't hear Odike and his infighting because the claims of money had come from the Flagstaff House. That gave them problems in his party. Madam Bekwia Donko, on a sister station of yours, one of the multimedia arms, openly confessing that the president had dashed their vehicle. Two brand new vehicles.
But that doesn't mean the president is funding her.
Why? Did he give her the vehicles to go and run a tomato factory?
But then
he gave her the vehicles to campaign for him.
Didn't she say she?
And didn't you see on NDC platforms campaigning for the president? Please, you see, let's get serious. But I'm saying that the PNC's problem currently is because elements who still support Ayarga or whose sentiments are drifted towards that of the ruling party feel that Dr. Edward Mahama, his position that he has taken now, that is to say, look, the Ghanaian people deserve better. And for that matter, the government must be held accountable. People don't seem to be happy about it. That's why they're raising those concerns. And before the end of this month, we're going to outdoor our manifesto, we're going to outdoor our running mate, and we're going to launch our campaign.
PNC, some say, as a party, it appears it's separate, it's divided. Half of your membership is aligned towards the NDC, another half towards the NPP.
I don't know about that, but you should have added that to the topic so that
it's up now for discussion. It's up now for discussion, so we might as well just talk about it.
No, but I don't see that as the reality. You can have persons within the party who, sentimental-wise, they feel, if the PNC is not winning, it will be better to see this party or that party. But the loyalty of those persons should still be with the party.
So you're one of such persons?
Oh, no. I expressed such thoughts in 2012 when I felt the flag bearer at that time was not proper.
Which was Hassan Ayari?
At that time he was not. But you know that. You don't need me to tell you.
It's not about me. It's about the
But you're a Ghanaian. You know that.
About me.
You don't know that?
Well, I don't know anything.
Really?
Well, but that
when you sent him on a coffee spree,
that is his
when they sent him on a coffee spree.
Anyway, what you forget is that the PNC is also a party that has somebody in our government.
Really? It's unfortunate.
So
you see, it's unfortunate.
How do you have a flag bearer?
An all-inclusive government.
How do you have a flag bearer who is
ask him that ask him.
He's
running against that
of a political party that includes a member of your party.
Abuja, I'm coming. He is running against my candidate, that minister. But ask him truly, that minister of state, the so-called all-inclusive government they are talking about, where is the office of that minister located? How much of resources is handed over to that ministry?
So he's just there, not really doing
anything. It's just a title. Minister by portfolio, by Suna. How's that they say by Suna?
Wouldn't it be simple that you just ask him to withdraw?
Who? Should I be the one to ask him?
But he belongs to your party, and I'm sure your party agreed for him.
Please.
To serve
at no point, at that time, I was part of the leadership of the party. At no point did we, as a party, sit down to discuss or deliberate who should President Mahama give appointment within our party. That was an individual arrangement. The same with the former Council of State lady, what she called. That woman, I forgot her name. She's the current national vice chairperson of the party. Hajar.
Okay.
Who was made Council of State.
Yeah.
The NDC didn't consult the PNC to ask us whether we were comfortable with these persons being given appointment. Because at that time, truth be told, I would have nominated Bernard Bona to begin, because he going there would have even served better purpose.
So if you were given a political appointment by the president, you wouldn't take it? You reject
Which president?
President John Dramani Mahama.
I'm sure he would not even dream of it.
What if he...
Are you not a Ghanaian?
Flatly rejected.
Are you not a Ghanaian?
You reject it.
The incompetence we are talking about, you don't see it.
I just told you that.
So you don't see the incompetence we are talking about.
Point is, we are building a better nation. If there's something you have...
But you should have a leader that is visionary, a leader that is competent in leading the flock.
The president lacks vision? Is that what you're saying?
Abochi, you know what I'm talking about.
No. It's a simple question.
I always draw you in because you are a citizen of this country. And it is about time.
I
you, the journalist, you move away from the supposed position of middle line and getting yourselves involved in the activity. Honorable Clement Park refers to the president as being competent because you are getting things done. As we talk.
Is it not getting things done?
What have they gotten?
There are quite a number of infrastructure developments.
What infrastructure development?
Witness what is going on at Circle, the interchange?
Okay, then what again?
Oh, there are several of them. Are you not witness to the Legon Teaching Hospital?
And what again?
Are you not witness to the Fufusu Solar?
You see, all these things you are mentioning.
Yeah, of course.
You see, wait.
Something is being done.
Abuji. All these
Admit
things, all these things you are mentioning, every government that comes will do it.
They are social democrats.
Road infrastructure.
They are social democrats. Their focus will be
road infrastructure. Look, even if Hassan Yarga is elected today president, when it comes, you do road infrastructure. He will provide hospitals.
So it's nothing new.
He will provide. It is nothing. But you see, what puts government in distinction is the extra ideas and policies that the government brings in. The extra ideas and policies.
Are they not doing that? They've brought the Citizens Complaint Center, for instance, is one of such
Why?
interventions.
During the first time there was an office called, what's it called? The Anti-Corruption Office of Accountability. Citizens Complaint Center. Even the director, the head of that unit, seated here. The workers of ECG are complaining. It has not even come to his attention, let alone even deal with it.
No, but they have to come and file a complaint.
If a complaint has not
so if the complaint hasn't reached your desk, you won't act on it.
It has to come to me.
You see? You see the inefficiency I'm talking about?
I to myself the responsibility of filing complaints.
So when Ghanaians are being shot in Somalia or in Libya, when Ghanaians are being shot there, until their family members write petition to Dr. Park, he's not going to act upon it.
Pharmacists in state-run health facilities are today vacating their posts to pressure governments to resolve discrepancies in their market premium payments. Now, the over 600 members of the Government Hospital Pharmacists Association, that's GOSPA, say the indefinite strike has become their last resort after constant breakdown of negotiations with governments over their grade structure and placement in public health facilities. It appears your government has had to deal with a lot of these issues, and with the migration of this single spine issue, quite a lot of people seem dissatisfied. And today, yet again, another strike.
Well, we know the thinking behind this leveling, if you like, of wages, the single spine salary structure. And indeed, I would say that by and large, the process has gone on well, in spite of the challenges. But I think that in excess of 95% of the public sector workers have been moved to the single span salary structure. Now, these discrepancies obviously are discrepancies that I believe can be handled and dealt with. And whilst it is always the case that nobody should try to prevent any group of people from expressing their dissatisfaction in as far as their conditions of service and or of work are concerned, it is always important that we act within the context of the law and lay down procedures. Now, withholding services of this nature quite clearly has implications for the health and well-being of our population. I mean, we all know that pharmacists have a role to play in the healthcare delivery system. And even when they are not available to dispense their responsibilities, it can have sometimes dire consequences. So on my own behalf, and as we would always do, we would want to ask that they allow the proper processes and procedures to work. I believe that in as far as what they are asking for is rightly due them and it's within the context of the law, it is only a matter of time before they get.
Would you say your government and indeed the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, you failed woefully at the proper implementation of this single spine pay policy?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, you can understand that when you embark on something new, sometimes you are not able to anticipate, I would say, the bombs and sometimes the challenges ahead. But by and large, I would say that we've done a fantastic job, because if you look at the numbers in terms of...
Don't mark your own script.
Don't mark your own script. The numbers of public sector workers who have been migrated. And the fact that not just the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, but even the sector minister has worked very assiduously to try and resolve some of these, I would say, rather nuanced and sometimes...
These people have been negotiating since 2010.
It is a process.
2010.
It will come to a conclusion.
6 years, and you still not address their grievances.
It is a process.
I see.
That will come to a conclusion.
Your take on this?
So we shouldn't punish people because we want to seek what we believe we deserve.
Okay.
We can do it without letting others suffer.
Abu?
Well, let me even take from where he ended. We can do it without letting people suffer. In your quest to do it, Ghanaians suffered for 6.5 years. Doom so, for 6.5 years. So I'm surprised this morning my doctor keeps professing the same philosophy of, we can do it, but do not let people suffer. But you see, this whole thing boils down to the issue of incompetence.
You're still on this tangent?
I still stand by that position.
An incompetent party?
An incompetent government. Finish. 6 years down the line. Negotiation. For how long do you want to keep negotiating? For how long do you want to sit on a round table to discuss the very same issues that have pertained from day one till now?
Is it not best to get it right than just to get it?
You always go into the boardroom with them, with your equation, and they come with their equation. You never leave there with a new formula to arrive at that at an answer. So what will keep government on? Because if you look at in the history of this country, John Mahama would go down in the history of His Excellency, in the history of Ghana, as one of the presidents who have seen. No wonder he says he's a dead good. Who has seen? But he said it himself.
Well, it depends on the context.
No. So I'm quoting the context in which he said it. He has seen more strikes than any president and more labor actions than any other president.
Yes.
Even during the military junta, or during the early stages of our democracy, between 92 and 2000, J.J. Rawlings didn't see this sort of headache. So my issue is, then you see, we've come back to the issue of incompetence. I want Dr. Apak to agree with me that it all boils down to the incompetence of, because there are so many issues that we could have resolved without even hitting the states, particularly labor issues. Why? What prevented this government when it started the idea of implementing the
unfortunately, we have to wrap up on this conversation. Unfortunately,
the time is not enough.
I know, but that is Abu Ramadan. He is a former PNC youth organizer. He's been one of our guests on the AM Talk this morning. Also, is member. Yes, we'll find another platform.
So that we see whether the name befits.
Dr. Clement Abasa Park is a presidential staffer, and also he's the head of the Citizens Complaints Units and a parliamentary candidate. I hear you were offering some free vacation classes for some students in
junior high school. Junior high school.
The government did the same.
Pretty interesting competition.
The government did the same.
He did it for senior high school.
So he did it for junior high school. He did it for senior high school.
Because the need is
in the basic level.
That battle is a loss.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. Gentlemen, many thanks for your time. That'll be it for AM Talk. Time now for some entertainment. We'll be back to wrap up the show in a bit. Stay on.